Hi, welcome to another episode of DRR. Today, we're going to go over what it takes to prepare a patch. As you can see, this is a shower. We've installed an 1 5/8" piece of drywall in what was previously a large, about 1/2 inch gap of where the board used behind the solid engineered marble met the drywall. There was a big gap in here. So went ahead, used our Sawzall, and carefully got rid of the little bit of excess here, cut the drywall back here, and what you want to do is you want to re-nail the side. Now what probably will happen is we won't re-nail any of the cement board. It seems to be very fragile. It's some sort of PDF cement board, substrate, not super sturdy, so you don't want to cause any more fracturing issues with that. But a particular note is the correct way to approach a setting like this that's been previously mudded in, or mud's been applied before. So you can see that profile right there. If I can get the camera to focus. Here we go. See all that mud? About 1/8 of an inch of mud. It's because before, right here down the middle, there was a gap, and so it had been paper taped, which you can see the pieces lying around here on the floor. There's the paper tape, and that would just sit on top of the mud and try to cover that gap. Well, obviously when you have that much mud packed into a crack, it's eventually going to fail. So you go ahead, rip out the old tape, rip out the mud that was packed into the crack. You bridge that gap with an actual physical piece of drywall. But the key, a lot of people are like, or they're asking the question, how do I make the wall flat or smooth or presentable? The key is to not put too much mud on the wall at once, and to start with the correct layer of substrate. If you just went ahead and started putting your mud right here, say you went ahead and took your 6-inch knife and started packing your mud after you taped it, you started mudding right here just like that without taking loose this 1/8 of an inch of mud, then it's going to be built up that much higher, and you would literally have to flow out 12, 16, 18 inches if possible to make that look correct. Unfortunately, you have things in the way, like your soap bar holder, or in this case, it's actually your towel holder. So when you're going to do a patch, remember to go ahead, evaluate the situation. If it's been previously patched, or if there's been a butt joint there before, you want to look at how much mud has been applied before and where. And this is one of the ways, especially when it's on there really hard. Using a 6-inch knife, you can go ahead and you can shatter off some of it on the edges, but really 6-inch knife's really only good for scraping in this particular application. What I like to do is I like to take a hammer, my drywall hammer, because it's got a little bit of a, almost looks like an axe right there, and it's not very sharp. You see it's pretty dull, but the mechanical action of going sideways, see that mud there breaking loose? Now you had a little bit of chipping of your paper and it looks a little loose, but that'll get tacked down with some nails. Bonding primer will be applied, which will help to stiffen it up a little bit, and then you go ahead and include mesh tape, and that mesh tape will lap here and here and then bring it just back off that surface, and then the 6-inch knife should effect a very nice pack coat when you go ahead and you go over the transition there, and we'll get a top view. See that gap there? So it'll do a very nice job. There's very little rocking going on here. And then you can go ahead and bring a 10-inch knife and it'll float out to about here. Hope you're able to learn something today. It's a pleasure to serve the North Florida community. And if you think hiring a professional is expensive, try hiring an amateur. Thanks so much for tuning in.